All right, we are live. Week number 25 of doing a live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you are watching this as a replay and you're new to my channel, we go live every Sunday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I have all my subscribers jump on, or whoever wants to, and you can ask me questions. You can even ask about different floor plans, and I can show you the entire dealership. It's a lot of fun, but we usually get a lot of people on here. It is 3:42, so I was late because I had some customers. Obviously, customers are going to be more important. Very nice couple. Hopefully, they go with the Flagstaff. So usually, if I'm not live by 4, then that means that I canceled it. That means I'm with the customer. So anytime you're jumping on, or you don't see me go on at 3, just keep an eye out. And if I go on before 4, it's still going on. All right. Hi, Sandra. I always have to get like super close because I can't read. If you don't know, I wear glasses, but I don't wear them. How are we doing? Hey, Chris. We got some people in here right now. Sorry I'm late. I had a customer that's interested in a Flagstaff, which is awesome. They have never seen one in person. They're kind of weighing their options out between an R-Pod and a Flagstaff and a Jayco, but I'm sure they're going to watch some of my videos and then they'll be able to see the huge quality difference. All right, yeah, I'm a little late, but we got people jumping on. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're gonna do the same stuff we always do. If you're watching this as a replay, you can read the live comments. Usually it takes about 24 hours for those to be updated. So if it's been 24 hours, go down to the comment section. There'll be 2 dots, swipe that to the side, and then you'll be able to see all the comments from the actual live video. And then, yeah, just be sure to join next week if you're new here, or if you're watching this as a replay. We do this every Sunday, and a lot of it is repetitive. I don't know how some of you guys come on every week and listen to my annoying voice, but I go through different quality of construction, different brands, because it is a big landscape. When you're out at a dealership, it could be overwhelming with all the info being thrown at you. So a lot of people come on here every week, but you know, when you hear things repetitively over and over and over again, eventually it starts to click. And then when you go out to a dealership, you're gonna be like, I know what I'm looking at. And you'll probably know more than the sales guy if you jump on a couple of these lives every week. And so we're gonna start, like always, with the Catalina. This is gonna be your more traditional wood framed, aluminum sided, and I'll talk about the benefits of that. And then we'll work our way up to, of course, a Flagstaff. We have not gotten anything new in it yet, but I'm trying to show you different stuff every week. That maybe I haven't shown in a while. I also like to do this every week because I get about 200 subscribers every week. So I want to help those new people as well. So if you are new here, let me know in the comments if this is your first live. I've actually sold 2 trailers on lives so far. It's pretty exciting. It's cool. So let's go to this Catalina. What I'm going to do with this today is we're going to look at a Catalina, like floor plans that are the same, but different brands, so we can kind of pick apart the differences. So let's find this Catalina 231 MKE. That's not it. Let me know if the audio is coming through crisp and clear. Let me make sure this is the right trailer. Almost didn't make it today. I'm not sure how many people will jump on because of it being Super Bowl. That is not the one I wanted. Yep. All my family is hanging out at the Super Bowl party, and I'm at the dealership. All right, so let's see. That's not the one we wanted. Let me turn you around so I could actually read the questions. Awesome, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, we'll try to find some rear living area Flagstaffs for you. Let's see. We've moved around the lot, so bear with me. All right, I think this is it right here. Let's check this one out. All right. Super Bowl. I never really watch. I'm not too much of a football watcher, but I'll watch the Super Bowl because I like the commercials. So let's see. This is going to be a Catalina 221 MKE. And like I said, this is going to be your metal sided and your wood framed. When we go to the next one, I'll kind of discuss the differences. We'll open this one. So whenever you're out looking at dealerships, come on, why are all our compartments locked? Ridiculous. So whenever you're out looking at dealerships, you can lift these up and then you can see it's all wood framed. So pretty easy way to find out. And as we move up, you'll see the differences. And like I said, aluminum sided, small little things that you're gonna lose, you know, like your electric tongue jack you'll get on the more premium trailer. This is gonna be your manual one, maybe some smaller propane tanks, as well as like your jacks are gonna be manual, which I'm not upset with. You know, sometimes I see a lot of people drag those, and it's a lot cheaper to replace the manual ones than the electric ones. So we are looking at 5,267 pounds, 25 feet, 11 inches, and your cargo is 2,280 pounds. It's gonna be the 221 MKE. Let's go inside. This is gonna be more of an open floor plan, so that's something you can consider if you are looking at RVs. What's up, David? You know, sometimes they'll have the dividing wall, but some people get claustrophobic, and then some people want more open floor plan. So as we move up, the cabinetry is going to get fancier, the appliances are going to get fancier, but Catalina actually does a great job with their appliances. All of your appliances will be GE and stainless steel as well. So if you notice, GE microwave, GE stovetop, including your air conditioner on the 2026s. Actually, this one's GE too. So this will be a 2024. Uh-oh, is the video breaking up? Let me know. Are we good still? Yeah, something is wrong with my, let's see, something is up. Let me know if it comes back. If not, I'll have to cancel. I'm not totally sure why it's messing up. Are we good now? A little broken up. We'll keep trying. If it gets bad, I'll notice because all you guys will leave. So this will be your slide out right here. So a nice big slide out. This is a nice size too, 25 feet. I always recommend that if I was buying a trailer, I would definitely be under 30 feet if you want to go to the national parks. That's usually where they kind of restrict you. If you're above the 30 foot, awesome. I'm glad it's back. Let's hope that it stays that way. So pretty nice layout. It's kind of different too. It's got the freestanding chairs, which I don't mind because if you're bigger, you can actually move the seat back. The only downside is you cannot turn this into a bed. Decent storage. So not bad. Tim from Knoxville went to an RV show here yesterday, and having watched your videos made me look smart. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just pick one out at the RV show and come buy one from me, please. Pretty decent bathroom. A lot of things that companies will kind of save cost. You know, right now you have the plastic toilet, and even on the smaller Catalinas, they'll go down to like where they don't put a shower surrounding. So keep that in mind when you're out looking, because there's so many small little things that the manufacturers won't put in it, and then you don't notice. Everything can be added. So the other day I sold a Catalina and it didn't have the shower surrounding. We added it. I think it was about 300 bucks. So just know, if you want to save a little bit of money, you can always get like a starting trailer and add the stuff as you go, especially if it's your first one. I always recommend, trying it out first, maybe renting one, then buying one, because you don't know what you like and don't like. Like, everyone is different, so you don't know what you're going to be able to deal with. Like, for instance, this is a north-south facing bed, meaning you can get in and out of it without disturbing your partner. If it was facing east-west, you're going to have to be rolling over your partner. So if you go out and rent one and it has the east-west facing bed, you'll kind of know, yeah, I could deal with it. No, this sucks. So just keep that in mind. You got a little bit of storage up here in the wardrobe area. Goes back pretty far. And all of the trailers I'm showing you, just write down the model number. And if you want to see a really in-depth tour of it, I obviously do those long form ones where I measure everything out. So just write down the model number if you do happen to like one of these. But overall, this is going to be a gas electric fridge. So I think this is let's see what year this is. 2024. So if you don't care about the year, we discounted this thing quite a bit. And we'll talk more about pricing when I move on, because I want to be transparent with you guys with the pricing, but we'll move to the next one soon. 38 down to 27,995. And then this is a gas electric fridge. Easiest way to see if it's gas electric, obviously, is the mode buttons. But see those metal coils back there? That's how you will know that it is a gas electric fridge versus the 12 volt. But overall, nice little layout. Your cabinetry, As we move up, we'll start to be like real wood. So this is wrapped. Catalina's cabinetry is really good, surprisingly, because I used to sell Springdale, and they were actually, these are actually less than Springdale, and their cabinetry was starting to like roll up on brand new units we had. So we eventually dropped them. But Catalina's cabinetry is all glued and screwed. It's nice and solid. Even the little raised beveled edge, I just think it looks nice. Let's go outside and talk about some stuff. All right. So as you move up in trailers as well, keep in mind, do you want, you know, the upgraded suspension? So this is going to be your standard leaf spring. As you can see, there is some benefits to the leaf spring, because if you wanted to lift it, it's super easy. You know, they just flip the axles. Whereas if you get like the torsion axle and you want to get a lift, you have to get an actual lift kit for it. As we move up, your wheels will get fancier. You'll get maybe better tires, like Goodyear Endurance tires. And let's see what's in here. Just a little bit of storage. Super Bowl Sunday. I got outdoor speakers. And this is prepped for the ladder. So usually at this price point, a lot of companies, they don't want you getting on the roof, which I think would be a deal breaker for me. Like if I couldn't get on the roof, I would just not buy that trailer. It's very important to get up there, you know, make sure everything is good, because that is the one place where if you don't like go and look up there, you're gonna start getting water damage. What you really wanna do is make sure that the seals, like the putty they use, I don't know the correct word, but you want to make sure that that hasn't gassed out or cracked, because when that happens, then you have, you know, water getting into your walls. And I'll explain the differences of sealants that they have out here. But that is a nice layout. This is going to be a Catalina Summit series. So I'll actually show you the Legacy Edition to show you the upgraded difference from like their Summit to their Legacy. You can already see one difference. You know, it's got the fancy wheels right there. But this is not a bad trailer. Usually all of your awnings will be electric nowadays. I'd be shocked if they didn't do that anymore. It's manual. So I have been working with a customer out in California. She might be getting a trailer. Make sure you have the 7-way plug on your tow vehicle. That's what you'll need. So it'll basically charge your batteries, work your lights, work your brakes, all that good stuff. And sometimes I have people that will have U-Haul do it because it's a lot cheaper. You got to be careful with U-Haul because they don't put a charge line. Even though it's a 7-way, they don't put a charge line, and then the customer comes in and none of the stuff is like charging your batteries. So just keep that in mind. If you do go to U-Haul, make sure they do the, you know, the charge line, because that's probably why you're saving a little money too. All right, let's plug this in. So now we are moving up to the Legacy. If you notice small little differences that you might not notice, you got the electric jack, you got the cover for the propane tanks. The main thing about this is actually auto level, which is awesome for a Catalina. So all you do is push a button. 5 minutes, you're going to be drinking a cold snack while your friend is struggling to level it. So this will be the upgraded Catalina. This is a really great layout. I love this layout. It's perfect for two. A little bit bigger. I think it's like 28 feet, which I kind of like a 28 foot because it's just under 30. And you feel a big difference from 25 to 28, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. 28 feet, 3 inches, 6,400 pounds, and your cargo is 1,400. Check this one out. Nice big windows. Woo! This is a nice Catalina. So you can see the upgrade, kind of bigger windows. Those not open. Even your countertops will be solid surface. So versus the thermofoil. I always say this, thermofoil isn't bad. The one thing you want to avoid is that T-molding. Like I used to sell Shasta and it had that T-molding. What happens is it gets into the cracks and then your countertops are starting to warp like the first couple years of owning it. GE appliances, like I said. So the last trailer I showed you did not have solar. Would you use one of these for full-time RVing? I have one. Maybe she's in here, Ginger. She bought one on my live the other day. She's going to be staying in one of these full-time. So what we did to make sure it would, be capable of that is we added the tank heaters. So that way, because she's going to be in a state where it does get cold and we don't, you don't want your tanks to freeze. So we added the tank heaters. We also added the shower surrounding. So yes, these are totally capable of going full-time. But I will say there is some upgrades on the ones that I'm going to be showing you that really help the longevity of the trailer. I'm not saying all these trailers are perfect. You know, eventually you will need the dealership. But as we go through this, if this is your first live, you'll start to see the small little differences like in the cabinetry, the bathrooms, but a nice layout. This one I think you could go full time, like long extended trips on. This does have a tankless water heater. Now, a lot of times I'd prefer the tank, and the reason is because the tankless water heaters tend to not do good at high altitude. And this is one reason why I really like Catalina, is because if we look at the tankless water heater, see that button? Altitude adjustment. So this will adjust up to 10,000 feet. It's getting pixelated again. I'm wondering if I'm using all my data on these. We'll just keep going. Hopefully it comes back. But yeah, so this tankless water heater will actually have an altitude adjustment. So keep that in mind when you're looking at ones with tankless water heaters. I think that would be a good thing to have. We purchased a 2026 Rockwood Mini Lite 25X. We're picking it up Wednesday. We are in Alabama, so unfortunately wasn't able to purchase from you. That's all right. You've been on my lives for a long time, and I'd imagine that kind of helped you pick out the right one, and then you're going to love the Rockwood because, of course, it is a Flagstaff. You do get a fireplace in this one. I do like the fireplace, and this is a 2026. I forgot to answer that question. It does have a fireplace. Those are nice because, you know, you're not wasting propane. And the cool thing about Catalina is it has a heat pump in it. So when I was doing the last few videos, it was like 36 degrees in the trailer. I turned the fireplace on and used the heat pump, and it got so hot, you could see my video is already starting to sweat. So these will actually heat this area nicely. So if you're at plugged in or anything, you don't have to waste your propane. Super nice feature. You got your north-south facing bed. This is going to be a 60 by 74 queen. So keep that in mind. They do RV queens sometimes, so 6 inches shorter. A normal queen is going to be 60 by 80. But if you notice, you could easily, you know, add the true queen. It just will overhang just a little bit. You do get the upgraded oven on this, so you got your solid surface countertops. Hey, welcome back to the live. All right, so you got your oven. Pretty nice. I think it has one air conditioner and it is ducted, 15,000 BTU. Yeah, this is a nice trailer. Theater seating, it's, I'm going to tell Flagstaff this because I get it all the time. It's weird. Like these things come in patterns. Like I'll hear it once and then I'll hear it for like the next month. They'd make the theater seating where you can't put the middle part up. That's another small little thing that you might want to consider. So if you're getting theater seating, you want to be able to cuddle up. I had one customer that did want to be able to put it up so the dog can hang out with them. So I do like the theater seating in this almost a little bit better than the Flagstaff, but just keep in mind, you can always switch this stuff out. So on the last Catalina, it did not have an enclosed underbelly. So that is important if you're wanting to camp in cold weather. And this one will have the weather shielded protection, enclosed underbelly. I can't remember if this has an actual heater duct going underneath. I have to ask that. So you got to be careful. Yes, it'll be an enclosed underbelly, but sometimes it still doesn't have like a heater vent going under, but it's still a nice barrier. You know, if you're camping in cold, that could still help. Whereas if we come to this one, you'll notice, bam, there is no underbelly and your tanks are exposed. So that is going to be the next difference as we move up. This doesn't have tank heaters yet, but it does have that nice auto level. You got your fancy wheels. The other thing I like about Catalina is they give you pretty big tanks. On the small 16-foot ones, you get a 44-gallon freshwater tank. So when you're out looking at RVs, always look at the specs too, because you'll see one that's maybe a lot less, and the tanks are probably half the size, which is going to be a bummer if you like to dry camp. Limit to 25 to 28 feet. I think this is the only one I have right now that's 28 feet, but we'll check. And then you do have your griddle outside. Well, let's talk about the difference in the walls real quick. So if you notice, you got the aluminum sided, and then you have your fiberglass. Most people will say a smooth sided trailer. Oh yeah, let me get you the price. So the difference is there's pros and cons to both. Price. 42 down to 33,995. Hey Joe, thank you for always joining. Have a good Super Bowl party. That's the unfortunate thing about being in sales is my family's having a big old party and I'm gonna miss it. Just gotta keep working. Okay, I'm gonna talk about pricing and then I'll talk about the differences between the aluminum and the fiberglass. So when you're out at dealerships and you see pricing, or you're looking online and you see pricing, there's two ways that dealerships do their pricing. I've worked at both ways. One way is the dealership will hide prep and freight into the price. They'll advertise no hidden fees, so their prices are going to be a little higher. You're still getting charged for it. They just don't show it to you or itemize it to you. Honestly, when I worked at those dealerships, they made more money on the sell versus the way, you know, we do it here, because we itemize every single thing. So usually when you come into the dealership, this is the first thing I'll show you. That way when you come out to look at trailers, you'll know the exact price and it's not, you know, you're not thrown off. So you got your sell price or MSRP and then $33,995. And then depending on the trailer that you buy, you know, so a travel trailer, the prep is $17.95 and the freight is $19.95. So the prep has to be done. I get a lot of handy people out there. They're like, I can inspect it myself. But the thing is the prep, what it is we have certified techs. They get training for it and everything. And what they do is whenever someone buys it, they go through the entire trailer. They have this big list of things they do and they fill it out on a form. And then what they do is they link it to your name. So you'll actually sign the paper. Then they send that into Forest River. And that's what activates your manufacturer warranty. The prep also includes, here at least, a battery, filling the propane tanks, obviously cleaning and detailing, and also giving you a walkthrough orientation. So when I show you more of these prices, just keep in mind if it's a tow behind, $17.95 for the prep, $19.95 for the freight. And just what I tell people is if you're looking around online and stuff, just always ask the dealership, can I get a buyer's order? Don't let them text you the price. Don't let them email it just like in an email. Tell them you want a buyer's order. And then just go with whichever one is the better deal. So like for instance, I won't say their name, but there is a dealership out there that's done this to a lot of the customers I've had. You know, they'll text the price and then they show up and then they add those fees to the price after they've driven like hours. So it's super frustrating. If you get a buyer's order, it's a legal binding document. So you show up with that paper and you tell them, I got the price. You got to give it to me. So just go, I would say, get a good deal, but also make sure you're happy with the dealership you're buying from, because a lot of times, you know, these dealerships, check their reviews. They'll have terrible reviews, and a lot of them are corporate dealerships. I won't say, you know, Camping World, those ones. Check out the reviews, because 100%, you will probably, not 100%, because there's some pretty handy people out there, but you will need the dealership eventually to handle some sort of thing, because this is literally a house on wheels. And I always say it's like a hurricane, tornado, and earthquake all happening at once. So it is possible for things to happen. So when you're looking at dealerships, always look at the reviews, make sure they're taking care of their customers, the service side, all that good stuff. So I always say it, what you buy or where you buy is just as important as what you buy. So we're locally owned, and you can see our reviews. Let's check out, oh, I know what I'll show you. We'll go this way. So remember that first Catalina I showed you? Let's look at one that is the exact same, but a Flagstaff. Do I even have one of those? Yeah, I do. There, nope, that's not it. All right, we'll talk about the benefits of buying used and new and all that stuff as well. I had 2 subscribers buy from me this past week, and they found me because of the live, so this is great. So if you are watching this, click that little thumbs up wherever it's at, because it helps me out, and then the algorithm will push it out more and help other people. Here we go. Is that it? We'll check this one out. All right, make sure I didn't get any questions. All right. So now we are moving up to a Flagstaff. This is going to be a very high quality premium trailer. So Forest River has hundreds of brands. This is their baby right here, one of their babies, Flagstaff. There's different plants too, which I think is important to consider. So the plant that you mainly want to buy a Flagstaff out of is going to be Millersburg, Indiana. because that's where the Amish actually make these. There's another plant in Mississippi, and obviously I don't think there's too many Amish people in Mississippi, and I would like to think that, you know, maybe the Amish take a little more pride in their work. And also another thing to consider, so Rockwood and Flagstaff are the same brand. And there's no difference from them, but I would say one thing that's different is for every one Flagstaff, there's like 10 Rockwoods. So Flagstaff doesn't make as much, which also I think is part of the quality control. Rockwood is going to be pumping more out. They just build a lot more of those. So I like to think, you know, Millersburg, Indiana, and I also like Flagstaff just because they're not pumping them out as much. And if you look, see that couch right there? So when you're out looking, you'll usually know because it'll say Millersburg Collection for the furniture. Let's check out the sticker right here. All of ours come from Millersburg, which is pretty sweet. 5,776, 25 feet 9 inches, and let's see, cargo is 1,850. This is going to be the 25 BD. I have done a tour already on it, and this is exactly like that Catalina I showed you, somewhat. But see, as you walk in, you got the bed to the right. Did I forget to put on the lights? There we go. It has the north-south facing bed. This is a 60 by 74. I kind of wish they would have done a true queen because there is enough room. Now we're on to a Flagstaff, which is going to have a lot of upgrades. So you can see you have solid surface countertops, real wood cabinetry, so it's not paper wrapped. It is a rack and pinion slide system, so see how it's nice and flush with the floor. Flagstaff usually does Schwintek for the wardrobe and then rack and pinion for the main slide. They are starting to use a different slide system on like their E-Pros, but overall, nice layout. You got the dinette right here and the TV that comes up. Look at that. What? It's pretty neat. But I like that you could put it down so that way you could still see out the window. As we move through this, it does have a vaulted ceiling. So on the Catalinas, you notice it was flat. Your AC is all ducted. And one little thing I like is that you can open and close these and turn them. A lot of companies, they don't allow you to do that. And if you get one that has 2 bedrooms, you can actually push both ACs into one area, which is going to be nice if you're in a hot state. All of your appliances are going to be Magic Chef. So I'd like to think maybe Magic Chef is better than Furrion or GE. This will be a 12-volt fridge. Yeah, the dinette and the window on the campsite, I like that too. Especially like the theater seating. Look, it's placed in a perfect spot. And this table is pretty nice. Let's see if I can put it up real quick. I like it because there is no pole in the middle. See how there's not going to be like 2 big poles? And let me see if I can do this real quick. How easy is that? So whenever you want to make the bed, you just put that down. The other thing, this is going to be a 6-side aluminum frame trailer, meaning the roof, floor, front wall, back wall, both side walls are all aluminum. Now, I've shown you guys surveyors. That's going to be a nice middle ground, and it is aluminum framed. But if we look under this dinette right here, this is why I love Flagstaff so much. It's kind of hard to see it. See that aluminum framing under there? And you can kind of see it back there. They aluminum frame everything. Your dinettes, bunks, whereas like Surveyor, Nobo, they don't aluminum frame everything, even though it is 6-side aluminum framed. So even under the bed, all aluminum framed. And you got to imagine, I always make this example. You go to the window to pull the shade down, and you jab your knee into this, crack, and then you pull your shade down. I've seen it so many times on like the wood framed trailers, so it's just something to consider. You know, maybe spending a little bit more, it might be a better, I don't know, you might like it a lot more. Magic Chef appliances. Oh, you'll also know because it'll say, see, Millersburg made. And then you got your freezer down below. You got your oven on this. Magic Chef, pretty decent size oven. I believe it's a 21-inch gas oven. For those. Haha. Thank you, Diane. We'll go look at yours. Diane and Tim just bought a really nice Flagstaff Classic. I'm super excited for them. Let's see. I appreciate that so much. So as we move through this, we'll go look at the trailer you're buying just to have some fun. They're actually working on it right now for you. So you got a pretty decent sized bathroom, porcelain toilet. It does have that race car under. Oh no, it doesn't. Does it? Oh yeah, you got that race car underglow underneath the sink. Decent amount of counter space. I do like that. Sometimes in these micro lights, you don't get too much counter space. And of course, you get the big fart fan right there. A little bit of storage and decent sized shower. I like this layout a lot. You got your shower miser right here. So this is a nice feature to conserve water. So usually when you're dry camping, you stick your hand out, you're waiting for that water to get hot, and that is all being wasted. With this system, all you do is push this down, it'll circulate through the lines, and then this will turn a grayish color. Then you flip it up because you know it's hot, and then it'll spit the water out. Really nice. Flagstaff is, you know, it's a very premium brand. So like if they thought tankless would be better, they would have done it. This is going to still be a 6-gallon tankless or tank heater, water heater, steam and stink sucker. That's a good one. That's a good one. I never heard that one. Then you got your wardrobe right here. Pretty nice. So this is a slide out. It'll come right to the bed. The other thing I really like about this layout is travel mode, I think. Should we test it out? Let's see what travel mode is like. So travel mode is always a nice thing to consider when you're out looking at RVs. You know, it's not a big deal to me because it's super easy to put the slide out a couple inches. So let's put this in. Oh, nope, that's the Schwintek. Let's see. So travel mode, you're able to see what you can and cannot access. I do like rack and pinion slide systems a lot because you can put them out partially without damaging them. You know, the Schwintek slide, you want to put it in completely or you want to put it out completely. You don't want to stop halfway. The rack and pinion, like for instance, if we can't access everything, all you have to do is put it out a little bit. That's why I like the rack and pinion. Let's put this out. Oh, the other way. So I think it's going to be close. Nope, not going to work. So there you go. So let's see, this is, it almost had perfect travel mode. You can still open the door, but this is why I like the rack and pinion slide system so much, because you could just, you know, you just hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, and then boom, you can get to everything. So just keep that in mind. The reason why you want the rack and pinion slide system, if it doesn't have good travel mode, is because usually the slides are on the driver's side. So putting out the slide completely into the freeway, definitely dangerous. So having the rack and pinion, you know, you could put it out just a tad bit, and then you're not hanging out onto the highway if you have to stop for some sort of emergency. You've got to get to that bathroom. And here is your price. $50 down to $43,995. This is going to be a 26 model year. Pretty nice. All right. All right, let's move on. Oh yeah, it's got a pretty deep sink too. These will all have 200 watts of solar and an 1800 watt inverter. And what's nice about that is a lot of your outlets are actually hot and ready to go. Like the ones on the bed, you don't need to be plugged into a generator or shore power to use those plugs. Like the first Catalina I showed you, it was gas electric, but a lot of like the more starting Catalinas, they won't have solar. And pretty much all of the RV industry is going to be switching to the 12-volt fridge. So when you do buy one, if it doesn't have solar, just keep in mind it's something you may want to add. It's not super crazy expensive. You can even get super affordable ones that actually like clip onto the batteries and you're good to go. So I like the 12-volt fridges too. You know, everything has pros and cons to it. Look at that. Now you got those, the wheels are going to be the Endurance, Goodyear Endurance tires. So you're getting upgraded tires. This does have that torsion axle. So if we look under here, there is not leaf spring. Really going to absorb a lot of that shock. For another 200 watt solar. Dang, I'm not totally sure. I can't remember. I'm sorry, I don't know that question. And if you notice, you are getting a ladder, which is pretty nice. This is something you always want to make sure whenever you own like a travel trailer. See that right there? That's what you do not want. You always want to make sure These are all the way out and I can't reach, so I'm gonna have to come back to that. But you always wanna make sure that that is out whenever you, or in. One thing you could do is you can get like a sock and put some baby powder in it, and then you can kind of dab this, and then it'll come in nice and smooth. That's why it tends to do that. Let's see. That's why it tends to do that, is because it's kind of sticking. So if you put baby powder, but that is one thing you always want to make sure you're paying attention to when you're actually putting your slide out and you're going to be in a place for a long time, because that's when you can get potential water in there. The only thing we don't order it with is the slide toppers, which are those nice little awnings that go over the slide. We don't get them because the wind here, we don't want them to tear. But it's a nice feature, because then if it's snowing and you put your slide in, all that snow will fall off. I have brought snow into a trailer. So, and then you'll know it's a rack and pinion slide system because it's also known as a through frame slide. So see how it's going through the frame of the trailer? Like I told you, there's pros and cons to literally everything with RVs. So usually when you have a through frame slide, your tanks might be a little bit smaller. So that would be the only thing I see about that. This is a slide system you want to lubricate. So it's a dry lubricant. You just spray it on there. It's super simple, but not all slides you want to lubricate. SS, does this one have a fireplace? This one does not have the fireplace. So this one you lubricate. If we come up here, you'll know this is a Schwintek slide because it's got that little worm groove in it. This is a slide system you do not want to lubricate. So you don't have to do anything with it. Like I said, that slide system you could put out partially. This is a slide system you want to bring it in completely and out completely. But if you noticed, most of the slides that they put Schwintek on are going to be small slides. You'll see a lot of forums out there that say that Schwintek is bad. The reason you're seeing a lot of that is because what they were doing is they're putting this slide system like on massive fifth wheels, like the whole living room, the kitchen. It's just too much for that slide system. So Flagstaff does it right. They only do it like on wardrobes. You know, don't see issues with those. They also used to use a different material. They use some sort of different composite material that is supposedly better. I need to do a little more research on it. But just remember, not lubricate, lubricate. And then you do have cable slides. Those are some sort of sorcery. I do not get how they work, but maybe we'll see one as we go through. Let's go look at this classic. Whoa, that Diane and Tim are getting. So exciting. Yeah, this thing is nice. So with Flagstaff, it'll go E-Pro, it'll go Microlight, it'll go Super Light, and then go Classic. The nice thing about Flagstaff is it doesn't matter which level you go with, you're still gonna get that same quality of construction. We'll look at an E-Pro and a Microlight and I'll show you the differences. Most of you guys come on every week, so you kind of hear my same spiel, but like David said, it's good to hear it over and over again because it starts to like click and make sense. And then when you're out there looking, you know what you're talking about. You don't even need a sales guy. You just say, I know what I'm doing. I'll come get you when I'm ready to buy it. All right. So this is going to be a classic. Let's see here. And make sure it's plugged in. So you could see they're starting to prep it. So like I said, they just bought this classic from me last week, and you could see they're starting to do the pre-inspection on it. So when these trailers come in, they will be winterized, but once they prep it, you know, they're gonna fill the tanks, all that good stuff. So if you're buying one in the wintertime, like it's cold where you're at, always tell the dealership that you want it re-winterized if you're not gonna be using it right when you take it home. So I'm pretty sure they wanted it winterized. So I think that's what they're doing with that. But the Classic is awesome because you do have, look at that, sold, baby. Oh, you're okay. I was late too because I had a customer and they are more important first, of course. Yeah, my girlfriend is totally fine. It could have been a lot worse. The idiot ran the red light and he didn't have insurance. So then I get all heated and I show up and I shouldn't have been that upset. Like, how are you going to drive like an idiot and not have insurance? It don't make sense. Luckily, it did total the car, so she'll be able to get a fresh one, which sucks because she got in an accident a year ago and just got that one. And she's already had like 5 accidents in the last 5 years. We need to wrap her in bubble wrap. They're not her fault either. 29 feet, 11 inches, 7,801 pounds. And you got 2,005 pounds cargo. Okay. One thing I do like about Flagstaff steps too is see that little gas strut? Look how strong I am. Oh boy, yeah, one finger. Everything is upgraded on these Flagstaffs. All right. Turn the lights on. Look at this. I'm so excited for them. Look at this. It's like the 25 MBR, but it's their 29-foot model, 29 feet, 10 inches. Turn these on real quick. So this is going to be a 24, I believe, 2024. So they got a smoking deal on this. I was even able to help them out a little more, which usually when we're on a 24, that is about the price you're going to get. Let's put this slide out completely. So, all right, that's out. There we go. So you hear that ticking noise? I'm not sure if you guys could hear that, but that indicates that your slide is out. Whenever you're putting those out, do not think that that's a bad noise. You can even do everything from your phone on the Flagstaffs. That's pretty neat. So 2 slide outs, 29 feet, 10 inches. I love the like the wood look over the refrigerator. It's just super nice. I wish they could do that on the 26s. I think it just looks good. Front kitchens are amazing. You got solid surface countertops throughout, a lot of great storage. The 25 MBR is going to be 25 feet, 10 inches. Is it fixed? I haven't even checked. Sorry. Oh, nice. It is fixed. See? Ah, we got you. And I didn't even have to remind them. I forgot to actually tell them. And look, they caught it. So that's what the prep is for. When she bought it, that shade, someone must have just like pulled it down. We get kids sometimes that will come in, they rip the whole thing off, but it looks like they did fix that. So that's exciting. And it looks like they're putting your filter in. This is for your filter, Diane. So this trailer actually has, it'll filter all your water, your shower, your sink, everything. But I personally, I probably would not drink, well, maybe with this one. If it doesn't have a filter, I for sure would not be drinking from the sink. Because you got to think that water gets stagnant in there, and then that's not good. And once you get a slide out in your bedroom, you'll never go back to a bedroom without a slide. Look at all this floor space you get. They got a king size bed. That's the one nice thing from the 25 MBR to the 826 MBR. She got 2 air conditioners, so 15,000 BTU air conditioners. I always recommend, if you're looking at something this size, you kind of have to get that second AC, because when I'm doing my long form tours, I can usually only get it down to like 75 degrees. That is not going to be fun. You want to at least make sure that you are 50 amp. So, whoop, shower head right there. But yeah, I'm super excited for them. And they found us, I'm pretty sure she found us from the lives I've been doing. So it does help. You know, and now she came and picked one out. I'm super pumped for them. This is a nice trailer. Nice big shower. This also has taller ceilings. It's crazy how many Dianes I have. Like sometimes I'll get you guys confused if you text me, because I need to put like a 1, 2, or 3, but then I still mix it up. I have a lot of Dianes, a lot of Davids, a lot of Jameses. Good storage with the dual vanity. Look, or dual sink. Look at that. Yeah. I love it. Such a good layout. You also, I think I already said it, but you do have 86-inch interior ceiling. So this is going to be a lot higher than like the Microlight, Superlight. The other cool thing about the Classic is you get auto level. So all you do is hit a button, boom, and you are good to go. This also has the inverter and the solar. So it's hard to tell, but whenever you're looking at RVs, if it has an inverter, you'll see a sticker on the plug and it'll say inverter circuit. Yeah, we'll get you one, Diane. The wall sconces over the theater seating are sharp. Oh, are those things? Does this have a prep washer and dryer? Let's check. I don't think so. Not on this one. No, not on this one. I will say though, like on when it's a combo, they're not like super super good. You know, it takes a while, unless they've changed. But I remember when I had one in college, it took freaking forever for that stuff to dry. Okay, make sure I'm not missing any questions. But the microlight does. I'll show you the 25 foot of this. But yeah, and the cool thing about this one, they don't even do this on the 26 models, I don't think. You get your privacy shade or your screen shade, and then you have your night shade as well. Pretty nice. Theater seating. It's got the charging pad right here. I think they still need to clean this. But overall, super excited for you. Let's see. So this was the price. I was able to help them out a little bit more. But look, if you don't mind the year, holy smoke, 20 grand off, over 20 grand. So 70 down to 49,995. Usually that would be at the bottom. But if you call in, the owner says that all you have to do is say code Tyler Talks, and she'll know. And she said she gave me permission to help out a little bit more because I sell so many. You know, I'm able to. You know, I don't need to make a killing on everyone. You know, at least we got to make enough money to be able to service you after the sale. You know, so real wood cabinetry, Magic Chef appliances. That's what I love about Flagstaff too. Is they keep it like it's a nice clean look. If some of these companies, they start putting that tacky neon blue lighting on the slides, I don't know, I just think it looks good, or it looks terrible. But like Flagstaff does things to where it's not going to like go out of style. You know, it's nice and clean. It's simple. They don't put too much glitter on stuff, which sometimes I think that's why people aren't as drawn to a Flagstaff, because they want like all the glitter, you know, like all the kinds of fancy stuff. I like how nice and clean it is. That's why I love Flagstaff too. You got the bar stools. These ones are much better. Watch when we go to the 25 MBR. These ones are so much more sturdy and like strong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that. I'm going to go full time. So what about service across country? Yeah, most dealerships, you know, if they carry Forest River products, they have an obligation to have to help you. And one guy told me, he's like, well, what if they just delay the service? I told the owner of Albuquerque RV that, and she says, I'll call that dealership for the customer. She's intense. Eventually I'll get her on the live, and she could come talk to you guys. But overall, nice layout. The speakers are even nice on this too. Look at that big old speaker up there. And then the other thing I like about Flagstaff is a lot of small little things that you cannot see. So like the cabinetry, behind the cabinetry, they actually screw in the cabinetry into galvanized steel. A lot of the other companies, it's going to be aluminum. I've said this story a million times, but I actually had a customer that rolled their Superlight, and they showed me the pictures, and all the cabinetry was still on the walls. And I'd like to think that's because of that galvanized steel behind the cabinetry. The other thing I really love about Flagstaff is they literally laminate everything but one thing. So they laminate even your slide walls, your roof, your even the slide out on the roof and up here. The one place you do not want laminated floors is on the floor. You want 5/8 inch tongue and groove decking instead, plywood, because what happens is the laminated floors, you know, you drop something on there or over time of using it, you crack that laminated floor. And then what happens is you get a soft spot. So when you walk through it, it feels like you're walking on a sponge. And I'll show you the little tag right here, just so you know I'm not making this stuff up. I say all this stuff, and you guys are probably like, yeah, right. So let's see. 5/8 inch tongue and groove plywood flooring. But see, if you get a sales guy that is kind of new to it, it doesn't say anything about the galvanized steel behind the cabinetry. So there's a lot of little things that these companies do that they don't even tell you. So you got to imagine if they're doing things like that and they're not telling you, you know, I'd like to imagine that they're a good company to buy from. But we'll look at the roof too, because I want to talk about the roof. So super pumped for them. This is going to be exciting. Yeah. And then it does have the auto level down below. So when you buy a trailer, of course, I was going to do that. Yeah, I'm happy for that choice too. I'm really happy we went at the Flagstaff. It's a good trailer. And then it does have the outside refrigerator. I'll show you guys the 25 MBR after this. I love the 25 MBR. It's so nice. The other cool thing about the Classic, and I don't even think they're doing it anymore. I think they stopped. But it has the awning shield, the weather shield over the awning. So you got to think, sometimes these companies, the prices will go up and they'll take stuff away. It's like, you're supposed to give me more stuff. So I do like that they're also getting that awning cover, because 100% over the time of owning your travel trailer, you are going to have to replace that awning because the fabric starts to get brittle. And then it needs to be replaced. So this is where your filter is. You can see the filter back there. Looks like there is antifreeze in it, so I'm not sure if they re-winterized it or if they're still going to be doing the prep. But it will be 50 amp. And the nice thing is it already has the bracket right there. So if you wanted to add the slide toppers. Frameless windows. I do like the frameless windows because you're not going to have, you know, black streaks coming down, and then you also, it's not going to get brittle with the sun. Yeah. Did I tell you the weight? Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, let's just do it one more time. 29 feet, 11 inches, 7,800 pounds. And cargo is, I can't find it on that sticker. All right, let's move on to another one. Oh, dang. If you are new here, let me know in the, what did the kids say? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you are new here. I love hearing that there's new people on here because it's fun to help people, I guess. A lot of you guys hear my same spiel every week, which I had a customer say that they watch me every night. I'm like their family, and I'm like, I don't even think my girlfriend likes listening to me that much. But I've heard, man, the last couple weeks, the amount of people that have been calling, I probably get about 5 calls a day. So if you do contact me and I'm like a little slow, I'm doing multiple things at once. Sometimes it's kind of crazy, the amount of calls I've been getting. I've had people from Ohio, California, North Carolina. It's pretty sweet. And I'll explain why. A lot of you guys already know this with our loophole on the taxes. Let's see, let's get to the 25 MBR so you could see the difference. I actually did a comparison video on this too. Let's see, there it is. I like this layout a lot. It's super cool. But, so you saw the price. I can't remember what the price was on that Classic now. I think it was $49. Now we're gonna look at a 2026 Microlite, and you'll see it's very close. I think they almost got it just about the same price as a Microlite, which is crazy because on a Microlite, this is what you're losing from a Classic. So right off the bat, from a Classic or a Microlite to a Classic, you're going to be only getting electric stabilizers. Yeah. On the Microlite and the Classic. So this is going to be the electric stabilizers. On the Classic, you are getting the auto level, which is huge. You're not getting the awning cover on the Microlite, which I don't even think they're doing it anymore at all. So I'm happy they got that. That's 2 differences. The other difference is, let's put the lights on, is your ceilings are going to be lower. But, there we go. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Super similar. It is literally the exact layout. Wow, yeah, I keep hearing that. Couches keeps advertising. You know what I'll do is I'll just start no, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I don't know why they always advertise on my stuff. It's not cool, man. So look at this, 25 feet 10 inches. Let me show you the weight real quick. So when you look at the manufacturer website, you always want to look at the actual tag on the trailer if you're close with the weight, because that's just a general area. 6,265 pounds, 25 feet 10 inches, and 1,407 pounds of cargo. I started late today because I had that customer I need to remember when we close. I'll be out here all night. So very similar. You aren't getting that cool front part of the refrigerator. I like that look on the front. Looks good. Cabinetry is a little different right here. Yeah, they're breaking in. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I hope so. I don't want to be a celebrity, David. It gets overwhelming. So, Magic Chef appliances. You got your flat screen TV, theater seating, and like I said, it is Millersburg, Indiana. That's the plant you want them from, because the other plant, I think if you're buying in this area or another region, it'll be made in Mississippi. And the Millersburg, Indiana plant, the Amish make them. And I always say, I'd like to imagine that they make them a little bit better. Maybe take a little more pride in their work. And then you got, this does have the washer and dryer prep, which is pretty neat because they usually don't do washer and dryer prep in the microlights. And again, if you're new here and you like any of these, I do extremely in-depth tours. I measure every single thing out. It's excessive, but like I said, you'll get all your questions answered just by watching one of my videos, hopefully. This will be a queen bed. You got your sliding doors, so it allows for a little more space. And then this is basically where the main difference is the dual sinks. It is a lot tighter in here compared to the Classic. It's literally double the size. So, but it's not terrible. You still have a lot of floor space, you know, to get out and dry off. And then a decent sized shower. The shower looks smaller, but you actually get the same amount of space because in the Classic, that little bench kind of takes up some room. So it's still the same standing room, but the interior height is lower. So the Classic, you're going to get much more room in the shower. So if you're taller, you know, the Classic might be the way to go. But if you notice, have you really seen a difference from the 24 to the 26? Like that they got a smoking deal and they didn't change anything. It's like the same exact trailer. So sometimes if you can buy like a year model later or two, you're going to save thousands and they don't even change anything really. Well, actually they take things away. Like on the new Flagstaffs, they take away the griddle. So that might be sometimes the way to go. And see, look, the price on this was $50 down to $42,995. I think the sell price on the Classic was like $49, and then I was able to help them a little more as well. So that's a good deal. I have another Classic that's very similar. If you're out there and you want a good deal, I'll show it to you after this. So, oh yeah, here's the laminated stuff I was talking about. Slide outs. You see how they're punching it? Like literally when the rep comes, he will punch the roof. Like it's solid. A lot of other brands, if you do that, you can literally see you can push the roof in. Look at this. Nothing's going to happen to that. The other thing I like about Flagstaff is they put the roof in with there's T-tracks. So if you look up here, this is a T-track right here, and they slide in each panel of the roof. It is bulletproof. Like a lot of times you'll go to these dealerships and you'll see brand new trailers and you'll see trim hanging from the roof. You will not see that in a Flagstaff. And that's something I can almost guarantee because of it being that T-track. So a lot of little things that they do to improve these trailers that Flagstaff does. Let's go outside. Oh, dang, I'm sore. I've been running so much, just trying to get to summer. So here's some of the features. 6-side aluminum frame bedding. And that's that. Anything you guys want to see, let me know. I kind of just wing it. I just wing it every week. That's probably why it seems so chaotic. One air conditioner, it'll have 2 air conditioners. You can order it with one. You might be able to get away with 1 air conditioner on this size, but if you live somewhere hot, I don't know, that would suck to get a trailer. And then if it's not 50 amp, you're gonna have to rewire everything. That's probably super expensive. It's like Subway versus Jersey Mike. I'm going for Jersey Mike, so that's the 25 MBR. Solar, yes. So all of the Flagstaffs on our lot will have 200 watts of solar and 1800 watt inverter. Because of the inverter, you can add an additional 600 watts of solar. So yeah, that's the one you like, huh, David? 25 MBR. Well, I got 2 of them. And like I told you, David, if you want, let's see. Yeah, you want 50 amp. So like, for instance, David said you might be 10 months out. The cool thing is we have a good relationship with the factory. I'm telling you, the owner she knows everybody. But we have a good relationship with the factory, so I can literally order you a factory fresh trailer. I'll still discount it, like as if it was here on the lot. And then the other thing, I'm gonna go through my little spiel real quick. If you are new here, there's a little loophole here in New Mexico that's called the Sunshine Law. And basically you can get our sales tax without having a physical address here. And the reason I say that is because our sales tax is 4%. We're one of the lowest in the country. I think there's some like Mississippi that's the same. The only time you could probably beat us is if you're a resident in Oregon or Montana. So you actually need to be a resident in those places to take advantage of the tax savings. Here in New Mexico, you don't have to have a physical address, and it'll still be linked to your actual address that it's being stored at. So you can still, no discrepancy with insurance or anything like that. But probably what I think is the biggest savings, I mean, it could be thousands with the taxes, but you're going to save thousands down the road because you can actually re-register your trailer here every single year, and they go off of the dry weight. So most places, they're going to go off of the purchase price. So the dry weight, like the ones I've been showing you, you might spend anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks a year to re-register it. And I say it all the time. I've sold to a guy in Nevada, and he was paying $1,400 a year to re-register his fifth wheel. I mean, granted, it was like a 40-foot fifth wheel, but think about the savings you'll save years down the road. Because most of the time, you know, if you're buying a Flagstaff, it's probably going to be the one you're going to hang on to for years. You know, you're not going to be trading in a Flagstaff the next year. I do have a few customers that have done that. It's crazy. Does the law work for buying a vehicle? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't think so. Because we sell vehicles sometimes when we get them in on trade. Like if you go to the MVD website, I'll get the code number. I can't remember it now, but if you go to the MVD or something, it'll say recreational vehicle. Do not need an address like to get the taxes, something like that. But it kind of specifically says recreational vehicle. So let's go to a surveyor. I like this layout that we're about to look at a lot. So we've been looking at a lot of Flagstaffs, and this is a perfect example to show you guys. You can go out and say that you saw the same trailer that I have, and it's small things that you don't see that are actually a big deal. So let's look at this one right here. I like this one. I'm actually working for a customer on this one too. Okay. Yeah, I know sales tax in like Texas, Arizona gets crazy. Their base tax is 6.2. But there's county and city multipliers, and it gets up to 11.9%. That is a ton. That's a lot. And I sell trailers that are like 100 grand. You're going to save over $4,000 just to drive here. I mean, that's a lot of money to me, at least. So as you can see, this is a surveyor. If we look underneath, this is aluminum framed. It's also got that composite wall. So you guys, a lot of you guys have been on every week. I won't bore you too much, but they put the composite wall behind this fiberglass. So one difference from the Flagstaff to the surveyor is this is going to have single layered composite wall, whereas the Flagstaff is going to have the outer wall and the inner wall. The other difference is this will be a leaf spring axle, whereas on the Flagstaff, it is going to be a torsion axle. As we move our way back, you'll notice it doesn't have a ladder. It is prepped for the ladder. And then another difference is you can see you don't have the frameless windows. It's got the frame around it. This is a PVC roof. The Flagstaff is going to have a TPO commercial grade rubber roof, and they use some very nice like sealant I didn't get into. So those are some of the differences. As we walk in, very nice floor plan. I wish Flagstaff maybe they do, but I really wish they'd make this layout in a Flagstaff because it has a lot of great things going for it. I'm surprised we still have this one because when that slide is in, this is the most perfect travel mode trailer that you can get by a long shot. We'll actually put it in here in a bit. But the other difference on this unit is you notice it's not the vaulted ceiling. And I don't know if they use T-tracks, I can't tell. Good sized bathroom. Love the storage in this thing. I'll check the weight and everything for you guys. I forgot to do that. Surveyors are extremely lightweight. A lot of that has to do with the materials they use too. Like in the Flagstaff, you're getting like the real wood cabinetry, the solid surface countertops. So it does add a little bit of weight. But look at this. Lots of floor space. Decent sized shower. You do lose the shower miser in the Surveyor from the Flagstaff. And then it does have the 12-volt heat pads, just like the Flagstaff, but the Flagstaff has smart heat pads. So they actually go on and off on their own automatically. The Surveyor, you have to come in and turn them off, you know, get out of the car and turn them off if you're going down the road. Really great storage. We'll check, I'm not sure. But yeah, I like this layout a lot. It is a little bit tighter right here, so if you are bigger, that might be the only downside to this whole trailer. And then it does have that fireplace. I'm not sure. I can't even figure out how you could tell. I don't know what fireplace that is. And I like the placement of it too. Like theater seating is perfect in front of the TV. So this will be a Surveyor. So they're always going to be leaf spring. Flagstaff will always have the torsion axle, which is nothing wrong. With the leaf spring, it's just you got to imagine how much is that torsion axle going to help, like a lot of that shock being transferred. You know, you hit a big pothole or anything like that. There's nothing really, like I always tell you guys, there's not a wrong trailer to buy. It's just how you're going to use it, when you're going to use it, how often you're going to use it. Like I have a customer I'm working with now. They spend 17 days out of the month and they go fly fishing. They are living the dream. They are looking at a Nobo. I'm still working on the numbers if they're on here. I'm working on it still. But yeah, that would be a perfect example of you wanting to get a better quality trailer. If you're spending fishing and camping, it might be better to, you know, go with something a little bit more upgraded. But if you're just a weekend warrior, maybe you're going to go, you know, 6 times a year, a Catalina will work just fine. So if we lift this, see, remember the aluminum framing under the bed of the Flagstaff? See how it's wood. So just small little things to think about when you're buying an RV. The cabinetry will be wrapped. I have not seen the wrapped cabinetry pill in a Surveyor. You do get a 60 by 80 queen, so this is a true queen. But check out this weight. This weight is amazing, especially for the length. So you're looking at 5,855 pounds for a 29-foot trailer. That is amazing. And then the cargo is 1,600. Overall, just a really nice layout. And then if we put this slide in, check it out. See that glow on the top of the slide? That don't look bad. It's just when they do that neon blue, I'm not really a fan of. But watch this. This is perfect. I'm going to sell this next weekend. It's just such a nice layout. I can't believe no one's bought it yet. I don't know, is there anything in it that you guys don't like? Because I'm curious why it's still here. And we just marked the prices down on all of our Surveyors, so I'll show you the price. I don't think I showed it to you last week, but look at that. It's perfect. Easily get to the bathroom. You could easily get to the fridge. So if you stop off and you're just tired, you need to get to bed or take a nap, you can get to the bed super easy. Yeah, they even have a YouTube channel and a TikTok. It's pretty cool. They were fun to work with. They've been married for 41 years, and it was just cool to see that, you know. I want the ePro 19RD. I don't even know if they make that model anymore. I'm not sure. But I would like to be a little longer to have a walk-around bed. So a 23 or 25 microlight might be possible. Yeah, I'll show you one. Let's see. I'm sure you've seen it, Jeff, because I always show it. But Flagstaff, so microlights are super tight. Let's see, do we have time? We have time for one more. I'll show you one microlight that's smaller. But yeah, look at this layout. Let's show you the price real quick. So look at that. 50 down to 35,995. Over $14,000 in discounts. I'm telling you, I'm going to sell this thing this week. It's just such a great layout. It has the oven. It's got 400 watts of solar, and it's prepped for the inverter. So you'll have a huge savings, and then you can easily add an inverter. It's already prepped for it. And all the appliances you could want, the oven, the microwave, the fridge, and it has 2 air conditioners. Like, it has everything. This one is a good deal. I like this one. So let's go to a Flagstaff microlight. Man, right when I get done with this, it is aluminum framed. Yeah, the entire thing, the roof, floor, front wall, back wall, both side walls. It's just not as detailed as like the Flagstaff where they aluminum frame under the bed and the dinette. That's the one difference. So, very nice layout right there. We ordered a ton of these because it's such a popular floor plan, and this is just the last one that stuck around. If you haven't and you want to help me out, if you've gotten any benefit out of my videos, if you could leave, if I earned it, only if I earned it, if you go to Albuquerque RV on Google, and if you could leave a review, I would be forever grateful. You have no idea how many sales I've made in the last couple months for those of you that have already helped me out with that. If you got 5 minutes, and it makes me all pumped up too. It feels like I'm helping. So that's how you spell Albuquerque RV. I kind of did that a little too fast. Let's check out this Flagstaff real quick. And then of course we do have Nobo as well. That's going to be more of your off-road style of travel trailer. I didn't even show any of those, but look at that. See how there's no axle underneath? Of course, David, thank you for always jumping on. Look forward to selling you one in the future. That's gonna be fun. Just, it's cool to imagine you'll have one. And then you're gonna hit the road and see the country. So surveyors are nice. We try not to confuse the customers. A lot of times these dealerships will have so many brands, they're competing brands, and then it just overwhelms the customer. It's like a candy shop. We don't like to be a candy shop. We want you to, like, every brand can't compete with each other. It makes it a little easier for the customer when they're buying, because I can easily, tell you the differences of them. All right. Okay. All right. This is so this layout is, I think, the layout I would go with. So my dream setup would be a Tundra and this floor plan right here. So let's go inside. 22 FBS. And like I said, it does have the composite wall like Surveyor, but they double layer it, and I'll show you that. I just think overall this is a perfect layout. Yeah, we sell Nobos, probably we sold the most of this year. It's kind of crazy. So this is going to be the 22 FBS. You're looking at 23 feet 10 inches, 5,224 pounds. And 1,500 pounds of cargo. Oh, also I have really good news. We are getting the 30 RDT. I think I bugged the the owner enough, and she said it's on the way. So I'm super excited to show you that floor plan. It's the one without a slide out. I bugged her a lot. I would text her on my days off, and she wouldn't even respond anymore because I was asking her every Monday after the live because you guys keep asking about it. But this is a nice layout. It's got the fireplace right there. It's got a nice little desk area so you can get some work done. And then see, if we lift this up, this is what I was kind of showing you from the Surveyor. So just little small things that are upgraded on the Flagstaff from the Surveyor. But if you still want like the main solid construction, that's why I like Surveyors, because it's still budget friendly, but it's not a cheaply made trailer, because a lot of times these companies, they'll say aluminum framing, and it's literally like the floor and the sidewalls. Like, not everything is aluminum framed. It'll be mixed with wood. So just keep that in mind when you're out looking. They do make a 21 FBRS. It's this layout, but just a foot shorter. The slide isn't as big, so it's a lot lighter. And you will lose the fireplace and the desk, pretty much. Yeah, this thing is my favorite, because I don't really need a dividing wall. It's just me and my girlfriend. And I like the theater seating. The 21 FBRS does not have the theater seating. It'll have the trifold sofa or the jackknife sofa. And then decent shower, toilet. But we should have stuff coming in soon, because I show you guys a lot of the same stuff. And then see, so this is a good example. So your composite wall, you got your exterior, and then the B, it's double layered. So you got the outer composite and the inner one composite. Usually they use like Luan behind that fiberglass. So what happens is, obviously when wood gets wet, it starts to delaminate and get moldy, and then that's when you have the walls separating. So 45 down to 38,995. And it's a 2026. Very nice. I like this layout. Magic Chef Appliances. When you are looking at a fiberglass trailer, one thing I would recommend is asking how they actually make the walls, because there's two ways they put these walls together. They either use pinch and roll or they use vacuum bonding. Pinch and roll, they just run it through a roller and they compress all the walls together. You got to imagine, like, if they replace those rollers over time, and what if your wall is the last one to go through that roller before they replace it? It's not as consistent as vacuum bonding. The vacuum bonding, they suck out all the air out of the walls, and the benefit of that too is that, you know, there's no pockets of air stuck in the walls. So like I said, there's a lot of little things that you cannot see on these trailers, but they look the same. But these small little things could help the longevity of the trailer. So these will be vacuum bonded walls. So that helps with delamination. And then also that composite wall also helps with the delamination. So not all smooth sided trailers are the same. Like when we look at those wolf packs right there, you know, I'm not totally sure. They might do pinch and roll versus vacuum bonding, and they use Luan behind the fiberglass. And I'm not saying Luan is bad. It's just you got to consider how long are you going to own it? It might be worth it a little bit to get the better quality. Woo. So like I said, if you guys have time, and I deserved it, if you want to leave a review for Albuquerque RV, we are a locally owned dealership out here in New Mexico, which brings me to my next point. If I turn you guys around, do you see any giant, big buildings? We are selling our dealership, that we have the double wide on there. When you go to these big fancy dealerships and they have like crazy facilities, you got to imagine, do you think you're going to get a better deal at that dealership or ours? We don't have any overhead. Like we're a small locally owned dealership. We don't have the overhead like, you know, Camping World or these bigger dealerships. So we're able to sometimes get you a better deal than, you know, the bigger ones. So keep that in mind. And I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys have a good evening. And I'll be off the next 2 days, but we'll be back next week. And I appreciate you guys all so much for jumping on. Peace.